Hey there, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. We are throwing it back all the way back to 2011 to this look that I thought was bomb. I thought I was doing it. It was the first time I tried some different and more complicated eyeshadow techniques and I thought I killed it. And let me tell y'all, looking back on it, I don't know about that. So I decided we would do kind of a how it started, how it's going kind of look. So I have recreated that look and I'm gonna walk you through how I did it. So we've got one eye already done, of course, and the other eye is primed and ready to go. And we're gonna get started with the Saharan palette and I'm gonna be using the black. And we're gonna start with a kind of big eyeshadow brush. And this is gonna go over most of the lid. So I'm going to start by actually pressing this very lightly because I do want it to go just above my natural crease. So I'm going to press it in lightly so that I know exactly where I want it. Now you can see, like when I look down, that this part is obviously where my natural crease would be. So that gives me like a nice little guideline to work with. And I'm also going to just kind of like stamp out a light wing shape to remind myself of where I want to end everything so I don't go too far over or too far in. And now I'm really going to pack the color onto this brush and start applying it all over the lid. I'm going to start by tapping it on, and then after I get it on and get a nice bit of coverage, then we're going to go ahead and use some sweeping motions to smooth out the color. And again, connecting in this wing area that we're gonna create. Now, I don't know like what I was thinking when I did it the first time years and years and years ago, but you really need like a nice black pigmented eyeshadow for a look like this to work. It's just not gonna work with a black that doesn't have a lot of pigment. All right, so now I'm gonna just take and smooth the color over the lid. We're going to a smaller crease brush and we're gonna pick up this deep berry shade from the Berries palette and we're gonna use that as our first transition shade to kind of start blending that black out. So it has this gradient effect that you see here versus just black that you see here. We're just applying this right where the black stops, and we're also going into that black a little bit so that we can blend these colors together. And this purple is a really nice transition shade for this look because it is nice and rich, and it also adds some color without muddying the black. And we're going to take this all the way into that inner corner area. So all the way across the crease is where we're working this. And you also want to go just above where the black was so that we can give a little bit of a base for our third transition shade. So for our third transition shade, we're also using the Berries palette and we're going to go in with this lighter purplish pink color that is in this palette, and we're going to use that right at the top. So in this area to kind of give a nice blend out. And I'm using a smaller fluffy brush for this part of the look. And I'm gonna focus this right in this area. And again, I'm making sure that everything is meeting at this area because we're gonna create this line. So you want everything to kind of line up here, even though it's not gonna be like perfectly straight. You just wanna make sure that you're having color all the way to that point. I've cleaned off this brush and I'm just gonna go over everything just to make sure it's blended. So I'm really just lightly brushing through and making sure that we've got a good blend all over. We're going back to that black from the Saharan palette and using an angled eyeliner brush, we're gonna start to create our lines. We're just going to darken this area in the corner here just to make sure that it's nice and covered. And I'm using a light pressure here. I don't want it to be too thick. Now for the bottom, we are going to start with a line from about here to the end. And at the end, I just want to make it a little bit thicker. Now I'm gonna go in with a little itty bitty liner brush, and we're gonna use that to create the line here and the line in here. And I'm gonna create my line out. And to create the line in here, I'm gonna go like that. And that's gonna stretch this area and make it easier to get that line where I want it. And lastly, just to deepen this black here in the corners, I'm gonna take an eyeliner and rub my angled brush in it, get it nicely coated, and then I'm just gonna go over that line, and that's just gonna sharpen it up a little bit. Finally, we're going back to the Saharan palette, and we're gonna grab Woo Dabi, which is this beautiful gold, and we're gonna use that for our highlights. So it's gonna get a little dab in this inner corner here, and I'm just gonna press it in and then blend it out a little bit. Also gonna go in this inner corner here. And lastly, we're gonna just use this as a little brow bone highlight. Just a tiny one. Not dramatic, so I'm gonna blend this out so it's not dramatic. This is the final look. I hope you like this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There's a new video every single Tuesday and Friday. And hit that notification bell so you can be first to know when there is a new video. And I will see you next time.